Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video, let's talk about sustained use discounts. So Google Cloud offers a sustained use discounts as a way to reward users for running their virtual machine instances continuously over a significant portion of billing month. So this happens automatically. That is, here you no need to do any kind of settings from your side. For example, if you use N1 and the N2 machine types for over 25% of the month, you start receiving the discounts ranging from 20% to 50% for every additional minute you use the instance. So the graph on the right demonstrate that as your usage increases, your effective discount also increases. Okay, so it is important to note that so these discounts are applicable for the Google Kubernetes engine and the compute engine, but it comes with some restrictions. Okay, so they do not apply to certain machine types like E2 and A2. So before understanding this discounts, you need to be aware of like what type of machine types you're using it. So yes, so this is all about a sustained use discounts. So if you're looking for a virtual machines for your business, okay, you can just opt the this machines, okay, based on the research as well as if you're looking for the longer terms, okay, you can just get this sustained use discounts. Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video, let's talk about the other type of discount that is provided by the Google Cloud, that is committed use discounts. So Google Cloud offers committed use discounts for the organization or the workloads that have predictable resource requirements. So by committing to the fixed duration of either 1 year or 3 years, you can save up to 70%, that is depending on the machine type and the GPU configurations. So this discounts are great way to optimize the cost for the long term resource usage. So whenever you're going with this option, even you should be aware of some restrictions. That is, once you give the commitment to the plan, okay, cannot cancel it. So it is very crucial to plan carefully before purchasing these options. Okay, and if you make certain error during the commitment process, you have the option to contact the cloud billing support for the help. And so this discount is specially available for the resources created in the Google Kubernetes engine and the compute engine, making it a great deal for the businesses which depends on this Google Cloud platforms. So yes, so this is all about the committed use discounts. So see you soon in the next video. Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, let's discuss about the preemptible VMs. So preemptible VMs are the short-lived and the cheaper compute instances that offers 80% cost savings. So if you are looking for the cheaper compute instances for the workloads, you can go with this preemptible VMs. And these VMs can be stopped by the Google Cloud platform at any time, that is typically within the 24 hours. So it means that so these VMs can be accessed and used only for the 24 hours. So if you're crossing the 24 hours, these VMs will be automatically stored by the Google Cloud platform. And this instances receives a 30-second warning before the preemption to allow for the saving for any critical data. For example, you are using this preemptible VMs for some use cases. So you'll get a 30 seconds warning, okay, so that before it is getting shut down, okay, so that you can save some critical information. So you can use this preemptible VMs. So whenever your applications are fault tolerant, cost sensitive, right, and your workload is not immediate. Okay, for example, like non-immediate batch processing jobs or the workload that can tolerate the interruptions, right? And here are some of the restrictions. Okay, so these preemptible VMs are not guaranteed to be available at all times because they have no SLA, that is service level agreement, and cannot be converted to the standard VMs. Okay, this is very important. So once you opted for the preemptible VMs, and after certain time you can't say that I want a permanent VM, right? I mean like a standard VM, not permanent, it's standard VM, right? And additionally, there are no automatic restarts, and the free tier credits cannot be applied to this usage. Okay, so you cannot use the free credits which is available in the Google Cloud platform to for the creation of for the creating preemptible VMs. So this is very important. Okay, so I'll be showing you a way to create this. Okay, but we'll not be using this just to show you like the option where we have this preemptible VMs. Okay, but now the latest the version. Okay, so the spot VMs are the latest version of the preemptible VMs. So if you have used the Google Cloud platform before, okay, there was a separate option to create a preemptible VMs, but now they have just renamed that to spot VMs. Okay, so spot VMs are the latest versions of the preemptible VMs. So the key difference between the spot VMs and the traditional preemptible VMs is that the spot VMs does not have the maximum runtime. Okay, so this is a very important point. So whenever you're going with the spot VMs, it does not have the maximum runtime. So whereas the preemptible VMs are limited to the 24 hours lifetime. Okay, and this flexibility makes the spot VMs an attractive option for the users who want to optimize the cost further while still meeting their compute needs. Okay, and so some of the additional features you can see, so they can be reclaimed at any time with the 30 seconds warning. They are not always available, and they have the dynamic pricing that is offers 60% to 91% discount compared to the on-demand VMs. And again, the free tier credits are not applicable for creating the spot VMs. So I'll be showing you a demo, okay, from where you can just create this. Let me just go to my console. So this is my console, and if you go to your compute engine here, and here you can click on create instance. So all the steps remain same. Okay, so if you go to your OS, not OS, okay, inside the OS and configuration, if you not here, I guess it's in the advanced. Yeah, so inside the advanced section you can see the provisioning model. Okay, so right now we have selected this standard. Okay, so by default, whenever you're creating an instance, so by default it has selected this standard provisioning model. But in case if you want to go with the spot VMs, okay, need to select here. This is what the preemptible VM says, right? So you can see, so VM runs until preempted, so idle for the fault tolerant workloads. So as soon as you select this option, okay, so here you'll be getting set a time limit for the VM. So all the necessary configuration which you can just set up for the spot VM. Of course, we'll not be creating this because it's not under the free credit. All right. So yes, so this is how you create a spot VMs. Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, I'll show you how to create a VM on the dedicated host with the sole tenant nodes. So first, let's try to understand what is meaning of sole tenant nodes. Okay, so before getting started, okay, let's try to understand what is the meaning of host and what is the meaning of node here, right? So here, so whenever I'm referring to the host, okay, so the host is a physical machine or a server in the data center. Okay, so if someone is talking about the servers or the virtual machine, or the physical or the host, okay, so basically that host is basically referred to what, a physical machine. Okay, so where is that physical machine? That physical machine is in the data center. So it provides the computing resources. Okay, when I say physical, of course this has the CPU, memory, storage, and the networking, right? Why we need this? Of course, to run any virtual machine, of course we need all these necessary components. Okay, starting with the CPU, memory, storage, and the networking. So now, so these host machines run on the hypervisor. So you can just think hypervisor is like a software which is helping us to create a multiple VMs, which can be created on this physical machine. So we have a host operating system, okay, which contain all the CPUs, memory, storage, and the networking. On the top of that, we have an hypervisor, so which is a software layer that creates and manages the virtual machines. On top of this hypervisors, so I can have the multiple shared tenancy. Okay, so when I say multiple shared tenancy, so we have the multiple customers who have created the VMs. Okay, so in the shared tenancy, okay, generally whenever you are creating a virtual machines, you are creating by default what, a shared tenancy. What is a shared tenancy? There is an host operating system. On top of that, we have some hypervisor. See, this is all it's already being created by the GCP itself. Okay, so we don't have access to underlining a physical hardware component here, right? So we're directly creating the VM. But when I say like we are creating a VM, so somewhere we're using a shared tenancy. So I'm explaining about the shared tenancy, how this VMs is basically created in the shared tenancy. So in the shared tenancy, multiple customers VMs can run on the same host, sharing with the physical resources. Okay, so now we should not be get confused with the VMs and the host. So host is just a physical machine or a server in the data center, and with help of the hypervisor, we are creating what, a multiple VMs, and that can be accessed by the multiple customers here, right? So for example, we have the VM1, okay, with some application running on it, okay, with some operating system, that is Ubuntu. So we can have one more VM with the Linux machine, and there's some customer who is using this, and we have the VM3. Okay, so we can have the n number of VMs. So this is what the meaning of shared tenant is. Okay, so when I say a sole tenant nodes, the host machine is dedicated to single customer, ensuring no other customer VMs are placed on it. So now in this section, I'm just showing you what, a sole tenant, because right now whatever we have done by creating a virtual machine, by default it is a shared tenancy. But I want what? A sole tenant nodes. When I say sole tenant nodes, on the host machine, I need to have the dedicated customer. I don't want any other customer to access my the host which I've just purchased or accessing it, right? So I want what? A sole tenant nodes. So this is how it looks. Okay, so before getting into that, so even let's try to see what is a VM. Okay, because we are discussing about the host and the VM. So what is VM here? So this is the VM here, right? So VM is a virtualized instance of the computer that runs on the host machine. Okay, so it's running on the host machine, and inside the host machine we have all the physical core components like CPU, right? We have CPU, memory, storage, and the networking that is being shared across the multiple VMs here. So it behaves like an independent machine within its own operating system, applications, and the resources, but it is actually a software based simulation running on the host. Okay, so I hope you have used that in your school days or the college days, right? So if you're using a Windows laptop and you want a Linux, you'll be installing a Cloudera, okay, such softwares, okay, so that you can run the Linux inside your Windows operating system, right? It's similar to that. So VMs provide a flexibility to run the isolated workloads without needing a dedicated physical machine for the each instance, right? So because all these are being shared, so you can configure VMs, that is CPU, memory, disk space as needed, and run the various operating systems such as Linux or the Windows. So that's what the GCP provides. Okay, GCP provides the underlying infrastructure. So as a user, you're gonna create VMs based on whatever the CPU, memory, and the disk space you are required for your workloads. So this is what the VM is. So when I say so right now by default is a multi-tenant, right? So we have the host hardware, so we have the hypervisor. On top of that, we have the multiple customers are using it. Okay, for example, green color. So green color customer has created this VM1, and the customer 2 has created this VM. Customer 3 has created this. You can see it's of different sizes. When I say when it is representing a different sizes, so what does it mean? They are creating with different with the number of CPUs, different storage, right? So memory and the networking, right? So this is how the multi-tenant look. Okay, so when I say single tenant, okay, you can see we have the host hardware, so we have the hypervisor, but all the colors are same. Okay, that is customer one. Okay, so single. This is what the meaning of sole. This is what the meaning of sole tenant node. Okay, so here we have only one customer who is accessing this entire host hardware. Okay, and he can create a multiple VMs within that. So now what is a sole tenant nodes? So in this node, a single host machine can have the instances from the multiple customers. This is what the shared tenants is. This is what the default setting is. Okay, but when it comes to sole tenant nodes, so it is a virtualized instances that are hosted on the hardware that is dedicated to one customer. So use cases, so you can go with this sole tenant nodes whenever you have the security and the compliance requirements. Okay, you don't want to share the data or some sensitive data, and you want to keep those VMs physically separated from the other customers. Okay, you can just go with this option, that is sole tenant nodes. That is it with whenever you have the security and the compliance requirements. So next we have the high performance requirements. So anyways, like whenever you are creating in VMs inside a single tenant, of course you can create a different VMs based on the different workloads, right? So even it provides a high performance requirement. So grouping your VMs together on the dedicated hardware ensures the consistent and the high performance. And the next is licensing requirements. Okay, so it allows for the custom licensing options like pre-core or the pre-process licensing. Even it generally called as a bring your own licenses. Okay, so this is some of the use cases where you can just go with this sole tenant nodes. Let me just show you where you have this option. So if you go to your GCP, that is good into your compute engine, and here if you go to your VMs, okay, these are VMs where you create your virtual machines, but there is a separate option called sole tenant nodes. Okay, so you need to click onto this sole tenant nodes, and here you can just click on create a node group. And once you click on create a node group, so here you need to select what is the name of your node, and so the region where you want to create this node, right? And let me click on continue, and here you need to create a node template. Okay, when I say node template, so what kind of node it's required. Okay, so I can just select the node, the number of disk. Okay, if you want the GPU. Okay, and the more important part is affinity labels. So once you create this affinity label, it's like creating a key value pair like group A. Let me just tell this a group A, and I've created affinity group here. Let me just click on create. So of course we'll not be creating this whole instant because it's you can't manage that with the free credits. Okay, it's a bit costly, so we'll not be creating this, but I'll be showing the entire process here. So right now it's creating. Let's wait. Okay, so it got created. So now let me just click on continue. So here the auto scaling options. Okay, right now it's off. Let me click on. Okay, let me just give one. Click on continue, and here just select the maintenance settings, and you can just click this create so that your sole tenant nodes will be created. So now while creating a VMs, okay, so you have an option to select that sole settings. So if you click on create VM, okay, so if you go to the advanced section, so right now you have this sole tenancy. Okay, so by default is a shade, but once you create the sole nodes there, so while creating the instances, you have the options inside the advanced. So right now the machine type which I've selected is not compatible with the sole tenancy, so you should select the good machine type. So then when you'll able to so right now this is what the machine type I selected. So based on the machine type, you can just manage that sole tenancy. Okay, so yes, this is all about sole tenant nodes. Hello everyone, welcome back. So what do you do when predefined VM options are not appropriate for the workloads? So whenever you're creating a virtual machines, you have the pre-set options, okay, so where you can select it. But what if that options is not suitable for your workloads? Okay, you need to create your custom machine type, okay, for your some specific needs. So we have an option to create a custom machine types, okay. So when I say custom machine type, so here you can just adjust the number of CPUs, memories, and the GPU. Even you can just choose E2, N2, and N1 machine types for the customization. So again, this is just a machine types. Okay, so here no need to remember or mug up something. Okay, so it's just a machine types. And again, like whenever you are going with the machine selection of machine types, right, you'll be doing the research. I mean, like whenever you're working in real time. Okay, so you'll not be selecting randomly. You'll first find, okay, which task, I mean, like whatever the task you're performing, okay, based on that, which machine type is suitable, okay, in terms of cost and efficiency. So then you're going to create that machine, then going to select that machine types. Okay, so even it supports the various operating systems like CentOS, okay, core, Ubuntu, Windows, right? And of course, whenever you are going with the custom machine types, you should be aware of the pricing also. Okay, so this is how the pricing looks. Let me just show you where you can just create that. Okay, so let me just go back to my GCP, and here if I just go to the create VM option, create instance, and by default this is what the settings and this is what the monthly estimate is. But as soon as I go to my OS and storage, and here we have a change option. So if you go to the change option, in the advanced, not here, okay, machine type is here. Okay, sorry, let me just cancel this. If you go to machine configuration, and so right now it is a preset. Okay, can you see it's E2, and based on this two CPUs, one core, and 4 GB memory, this is what the monthly estimate is. As soon as you click on custom, okay, so and based on the custom cores, memory, and we have advanced configurations also. So based on that, this pricing change. Okay, you can see as soon as I clicked on custom, the monthly estimate is changing, right? So if I increase that to 4 cores, I'm getting, this is the monthly estimate. Okay, so this is where you can just do all your customizations. And so yes, so this is how you create a custom machine types. Hello everyone, welcome back. So when you are using a Google Compute Engine, so there are two main costs which is associated with the virtual machines. So first is the infrastructure cost, which include the compute, storage, networking resources, which is required to run your VMs. So this applies to all the virtual machines, or whatever the virtual machines you are creating inside the GCP, that is using the VM options, create instance option. Okay, you need to pay the infrastructure cost. So second, if you use a premium images, okay, like Red Hat Enterprise Linux or a Windows Server, okay, there is a licensing cost as well. So for licensing, you have two options. One is the pay as you go model, so where you pay for the license as a part of your Google Cloud usage bill, or bring your own license option, so where you can use existing subscription to which you have already paid for. Okay, you can just use that licensing inside your VM. Okay, so and so whenever you're going with this bring your own license option, so there is some kind of constraints. Okay, so that you need to check. Okay, so while going with this option, so if you have already have a license, okay, it is recommended that to use while it is valid. Okay, so after that you can shift to the pay G model, that is pay as you go model, for the simplicity and flexibility. So in summary, understanding both infrastructure and the licensing cost is crucial for planning and optimizing your Google Cloud expenses. So this is not only with respect to the VMs, okay? So whatever the services you're going to create inside the GCP, so make sure you understand the cost and start using the service. So let me just show you the Google pricing calculator so that it will be helpful at the later stage. So if you go to your Chrome and just type here Google Cloud pricing calculator, so here you'll get a calculator. Okay, so welcome to Google Cloud's pricing calculator, and here you have the cost detail sections. So generally, whenever you're creating any of the resources on the sidebar, sometime you'll get a estimate, like monthly estimate. But apart from that, if you want to do a detailed research, okay, regarding the cost, you can just get into this site. So here you can click on add estimate, and so again you have the rupee, the amount which you're paying, okay, in terms of USD, or if you want to see that in the INR, okay, you can just select that. Okay, so let's go with the USD, add estimate, and here you can just select whatever the estimate you want to check it. Okay, for example, for the compute engine, let me just select that, and based on that, here you can see so you have these certain settings which I can just enter, like how many instances I need, okay, what is the total instance usage time, what is the operating system or software I want, okay, whether it's I'm going with the, see, you can see we have the licensing option. Okay, that's what. So whenever you're creating a compute engine, so there are two costs. One is the infrastructure cost, so where you're paying for the compute, storage, and the networking, and the second is the licensing cost. Okay, so in the licensing we have two options, that's I told, right? So we have the pay as you go model or bring your own license. So here we have the paid and the free. Okay, you can go with the free, or you can just go with the paid Ubuntu. Okay, so here you need to pay based on what are the licensing you're selecting it. Okay, let me just go with this option, and here again we have the provisioning model. There is a regular, there is a spot, there is a preemptible VMs, right? So here based on the CPUs, the amount of memory are using it, the disk, right? So all the options, even the regions. Okay, and so even we have this commitment discount also, committed discount options, which I've already discussed in our previous sessions, right? So you can just select all these options, like 3 years. Okay, so based on that you'll get some kind of estimate. Okay, so from this, so you can plan your cost, okay, accordingly, like whatever the resources you want to use it in your project. So yes, so this is all about the costing. See you soon in the next video. Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video, let's discuss about the Google Compute Engine scenarios. Okay, so based on scenario, what type of service you want to opt for. So let me just read this scenario. That is, I want to ensure my VM runs a specific operating system and the software stack for my application. So of course, we need to go with the custom image. So I need to optimize my VM for the specified workload running a unique mix of CPU, memory, and the storage. So we can go with the custom machine types. You can see, so based on the needs, okay, like here they are looking for the specific operating system and the software stack. So we need to go with the custom image. But here we need to have the here we are looking for a mix of CPU, memory, and storage. So somewhere we are looking for the custom machine types. So next scenario is, my application requires a fixed IP address that does not change between the reboots or the reassignments. So already we have seen that in the previous videos, right? So we'll go with the static IP addresses. So even we have created this. So next, I have the predictable resource needs and want to commit to 1 or 3 year plan to enjoy the deeper discounts. We can go with this committed use discounts, which we've already discussed. So next, I need to run short-lived fault-tolerant workloads that can be tolerant interruptions in the exchange. Tolerate interruptions in exchange for the lower cost. Okay, of course we need to go with the spot instances or the preemptible VMs. So even for the exams, okay, you'll get this kind of scenarios, so you should be able to select the proper service.